Lekker. I'm not still gonna go into depth and all of that stuff of the education material. I'm just gonna go straight forward and just we are advanced stages right now. We've been with Falcon like how much months now already, so clear as day we can see stuff. Guys, quick question, a quick thing I want to show you guys. I trade basically the DXY. Like I don't trade the DXY, but I always I have a routine first and foremost. Before I look at any of these pairs, I always look at the DXY first. This indicates if there's setups for me or if there's no setups for the day. You get me? So like there was the probability of like this on the multi time frame, right? You have to zoom out to see the bigger picture, And I've already gotten this bigger picture of what we're actually doing, right? You can see price is creating lower lows, right? So that means the overall trend over here is bearish to move actually to the downside, clear as that even a baby could understand this. So what we had over here, like this is a massive impulse that we got, right? Followed by this correction over here, right? Followed by another impulse and another correction. So now there's two possibilities that can actually happen. Can you see this over here didn't necessarily go over here to actually drop, because it's creating a lower low. Hence here as well. There's already like this a monthly. There's already enough depth and enough structure over here to actually drop to the downside. The market doesn't necessarily need to get to this double top area to move to the downside. So me by understanding like this, and obviously, right, if the market, like if the DXY starts dropping, like if it starts dropping, then USD and Nasdaq is gonna be bullish, right? That's how it works. So the government, like you can't put money into currency and expect money to also be on indices or stocks. That means like if money is being placed in currency, then money is being taken out of indices, stocks, and stuff like that. And then vice versa. So like for me, clear as day, what I had over here is this first touch, second touch, third touch, and now we have this fourth touch, right? The market is like remember there's a monthly chart, guys. I can read a lot of stuff on the monthly chart just to give me the overall picture. Because like you don't want to be taking the silly trades and so forth. If you want to grow a small account, trade with the DXY and not against it. So like all your dollar related pairs, if you are looking for sells on the DXY, and you can see the DXY is most clear. As you can see, this is most clear structure. This is phenomenal structure and price action that I've seen in a long time, guys. And we didn't get something like this over there. This is like textbook over here. And if you see something as clear as this, then you do want to trade like USD ZAR, USD CAD, USD Yen. You want to trade pairs like that. That's with the dollar index. Hence also Euro USD, it works with the dollar index, but against it, obviously. So if we know that the dollar is dropping, Euro USD is obviously increasing, it's pumping up to the upside. So I just want to give you guys that understanding, and then also look over here, you know boom, the market has been consolidating here for like weeks over here, and then it's been playing around. But we have some progression over here. So we had this zone, this channel that the market has been in. So this is not a like you wouldn't want to look at it as an impulse correction to move to the upside, right? We already at the area of value, and that area of value is this fourth touch over here, right? If I have to say it. And this is a mini trend on a daily on its own. So it's creating lower lows, obviously, and lower highs, right? So all that you could say over here that this is starting to this looks like it's a starting point of a sell-off, because like look at this bearish candles, you know, compared to this
Mm.
bearish candle. You can see this bearish candle have a lot of momentum in compared to all of this vibes. So to confirm long-term sells, like swinging sells, that's what I'm talking about over here. We need to break these lows, right? Like we need to break these lows impulsively, because like it doesn't matter if we break it, because the market can all the time mass psychology break, push above, give us a flag to move to the upside. We need to see clear discretion, we need to see clear momentum to move to the downside. And boom. But I'm gonna show you guys a type some type of AFT, like a few AFT setups that I actually managed to see and catch within the market, because there's a difference between seeing these setups after it plays out, and there's also a difference between actually catching these setups when the market is live, ready for action ready for execution, because that's what I was always facing. I was always looking at, wow, the market is we've seen all of this AFT vibes, but like, when am I gonna catch this vibes? Like, I always see it happen afterwards and not when it's actually occurring. So that was my mistake, like my like challenge basically for myself. And it's as you actually have to be like proactive and not reactive. So being proactive is like, okay, cool, you know what you're looking for, you studied for this, etc. You're waiting for it, you like want to analyze to the point where you know what you're looking for, not guesswork. And if you don't get what you are looking for, you leave it, move on with your life, go jog or do whatever the case may be. But you need to be proactive, not reactive, not when the market only does something and then you want to react upon it. It's not like that. You need to be proactive, and that's the major key thing that I have learned. I think that's episode
Mm.
5. That's episode 5 in the foundation series, risk. They talk about risk. Anyway, so over here, right? Like, even if you lift this drop, like, it doesn't matter. Like, the how you gonna get percentage is how you gonna manage your risk. So like, it isn't about catching the freaking trade here on top and then you wanna drop. No, it's all about your risk. How much risk, like how much of a load, like how much risk can you take off the table, then put on the table. That's basically it. And I want to show you guys something awesome. So like, on the 4 hour, right? We got this, like, this was, I think, last week's candle, right? On the 4 we got this massive candle over here. There's no way we're gonna look for like to sell like literally after here. We're gonna wait for the first correction. Even if we are so here in down in the run, we're still gonna wait for the first correction. Reason being, because we know on the higher time frames there is a sorry for this. On the higher time frames, there is a high probability that we're actually going to sell off. So this zone over here on the daily and the weekly, it's like just a candle like that. It's a small freaking candle. So we still seen potential, major potential to move to the downside, right? So I'm filtering. I already know what I'm looking for. I am filtering it down on the 1 hour, and that's all that you do on the lower time frames. You are filtering what you already see on a higher time frame. You're not making new structures up here, etc. Okay, cool. I see a bearish pattern on a weekly and a daily, but I see a bullish pattern here, etc. to move to the upside. We're not doing that. If we see a bearish pattern on a daily, we're gonna filter the same bearish pattern on the 4 hour. We're gonna filter the same bearish pattern on the 1 hour, moving on to the 15 minute as well. And this is what I actually want to show you guys over here. So this, I'm gonna talk about that. That's AFT vibes over there. But I wanna take look at this. This looks confusing, right, to the naked eye. And you have to be like, you need to train yourself to actually see this. So over here, this is the first valid flag, and on the 1 hour it doesn't look proper. On the 1 hour looks like, what, boom, it just dropped. I couldn't trade it. Like, for me, the old version of myself, I would never even look at a flag like this. But if you, like I say, if you know what you're looking for, if you know what you're doing, this is actually the most beautiful flag. And it's a gap, which is perfect, makes perfect sense. So now what do? I go on the 15 minute to filter it more down. And you don't need to confuse yourself with so much patterns. Only if the market present a pattern, then let it be. But if the market gives you something like this, don't force a pattern. We're not trading patterns. We're not trading patterns. We're looking and we're reading price action. So first and foremost, my first forecast was over. Okay, cool. I was like, wow. Okay, we dropped majorly over here, right? At approximately, yeah, we dropped majorly over here, right? And the market was like about here by this vibes, right? And I was like, okay, cool. Let me check something. So we had an impulse, a pullback, an impulse, a bigger pullback, and then the market started dropping again. And then it does this, right? But by that time, this didn't form, and I didn't know that I wasn't looking for sales over here, right? Like over here, this zone, I wasn't looking for sales until I discovered something. So like, the most recent price action is like how you read these candles, guys. Like, literally how you read structure will change everything. This patterns, this is a bonus, guys. These patterns over here, that's like let's just say you're making a cake and you want to put the cherry on top. This is the cherries on top of that cake, bro. But the cake is actually being built right over here. So you must understand how to build a structure first. So first and foremost, I had like, okay, cool. The market had a big pullback here. This to the naked eye, this is what I'm going to look for. So my first analysis was like, okay, cool. And after I saw that drop, I was anticipating the market to come over here, give us some type of vibe over there to move to the downside, right? And actually, the market, like I didn't catch this yet. I didn't catch this yet, but I just want to share this with you guys because I understand why the market did not come to this level, and why the market actually dropped to here. So then, okay, cool. I was like, okay, cool. Let me zoom a little bit in. Let me try to understand why the market had a turning point all over here. Boom. Let me filter it down. Let's go to the 5 minute. I went to the 5 minute and I was like, okay, there's some interesting things happening over here. So the market actually, before it actually gave a sign of progression, it was actually over here, right? And as you can see, an area of liquidity, let's go on 15 minutes quickly. An area of liquidity was this zone over here. If you know what I don't know how to like go more into depth to make you guys understand it. This just comes with experience. But you can have multiple zones over here, but like the order of liquidity was like, okay, cool, the market gave that impulse, right? Then it gave another move to the downside, and then it actually came over here, right? And then moved to the downside. But how can this be like valid? Why isn't this valid? Why isn't that valid at that time? Remember, this didn't form yet. You always wait for the market to retest or like to like touch something again to give you more clarification. So going on the 5 minute, I looked at, okay, cool. The market, like this looks like I'm gonna draw it for you guys. This is a small pattern over here, right? A small pattern over here, and then the market started dropping, right? And then the market gave a gap over here, right? Which is like 1 a.m. in the morning Asian session. The market gave a gap. So we know the market gave a gap over here. There's a high probability that the market is gonna come down to come fill this gap, right? We all know that. But like, and then the market started moving up, gapped out, and then moved up, moved up, moved up, and then gave us this area, and then started dropping as well. So we looked at this area like, okay, cool. That is a very, very weird point for the market to move, but the market doesn't move there randomly because if the market did want to move to this level over here, the market would have continued upwards and then drop, but the market didn't. The market actually, this is the area where the market actually showed you a clue and actually showed you a hand it showed each hand that the market won't even get over to this level. So look over here. So now you look at this price action over here. So now instead of looking so far, because that is like not the reason, this is the most recent. And how you would have catch this move is by looking at this over here. So like, okay, cool, the market turned over here, moved down, gapped over here, gave us a gap, right? And then failed to push above. So then the market actually dropped. So now you can also wait for your third touch. So okay, cool. First touch, my second touch, third touch, boom, the market started dropping. So this middle section over here is a very, very, it's a clue if you practice and if you train yourself to the point where the market will show its hand. And then moving on, even if you miss this, like I even saw this pattern actually formed on USD ZAR. But moving on, then the market actually showed its hand and actually dropped. And even on the 5 minute, here was another beautiful pattern, you know, another beautiful pattern. And then pattern separation, another beautiful pattern. The market actually showed its hand to move to the downside, right? And let's just say, like, as you can see, the DXY is bearish, right? So let me go at the upon the page that I took. So we know we have the bigger picture of how the DXY worked, etc. And can you guys see USD is like literally similar, right? The same price action over here that the DXY had, right? The same vibe over here. This running channel is a running channel
Yes.
here. And then
Yeah.
the market's just literally done the same thing. And then first you would want to wait for the market to show its hand, you know. Like let's just say you didn't get this like AFT guys, like let me just show you on the 15 minute even. AFT vibe. I know this is not the cleanest, etc. But the market actually showed the trend, dropped to the downside, right? Gave us that pattern over here. It's a type of running channel over here. It does play out on DXY, and the market started dropping, right? But also, even if you missed that, right, there's always possibilities. Look at the market actually done after this whole move. Like let's just go on the 4 hour. After this whole move, we waited for that, and here's just a gap. We waited for that continuation pattern, right? You must understand where price is coming from. Here's a gap. Also, is the high probability where the market will actually drop there. And if you filter that down on the 15 minute, look how beautiful this looks, guys. You know, First touch over here at the area of liquidity. Remember, it's not going to be perfect. Sometimes it's here, sometimes it's here, sometimes it's here, right? But we know this whole area, like this whole area, this pullback over here is where the market is taking a breathing point. And we want to look at what the market actually does at this breathing point, what type of pattern it presents, right? But we all knew that the direction was going to the downside, right? So over here, even like you could have just moved like off. Like at first, my structure was like this, you know, like this, and it wouldn't be bad to say that this is also valid, right? And your override zone would have been your just jot it down. Right, and you didn't get there really, but like you can always look on the lower time frame to see any candlestick confirmation over here. You know, if you got over here, you would have seen something like this. And at the close of this candle, this bearish candle over here, if you knew that you come to an area of value, right, and you close to it, but you see like obviously look at all of the candles, like look at this candle, right? You saw, and then the market started dropping, right? Similar candle over here as well. After the close of this candle, you could have entered that sell to move to the downside. But it doesn't even stop there, guys. Even if you freaking miss this trade, it doesn't really matter. The market still has opportunity for you. So that's also a beautiful sell. And then let's just go on a 5 minute. The same thing happened over here. And this pattern just play out and play out and play out over a period of time, honestly speaking. I had something like this as well. The market didn't. The market didn't go to the third touch. But the moment I saw the market is turning around over here, I immediately knew, okay, cool. There's no way I'm gonna stop this. I'm taking this risk entry. Literally somewhere, I think it was somewhere over here or somewhere over here. Doesn't matter, but my stop was about here, just like above the zones over here. Me show you guys like somewhere over here, right? And then also I think I seen this trade in the group as well, but I deleted it. I don't know why, but nonetheless, I think this was a nice, beautiful 4%. So we already knew that obviously what's the DXY? I already knew that we are going to sell, right? And obviously last week Friday is the 4th of November. Candle close was bearish as if a lot of momentum, and then we were consolidating between two areas, right? And even this areas, guys, could make your day or so forth on. This areas as well. Like I think I did. Let me see if I did hide it or is it here? Oh yeah, here's it. Here's it. Cool. This was a trade. So over here, I knew every time the market comes over here, guys, like from an area of value, right? We know to the point where we're coming from massive selling progression over here, right? If you here was also a beautiful trade as well. This correction over here, but I'm not gonna explain that. That's like gonna be very, very long. But I'm gonna talk about the most recent trades that I took. So I knew over here, you know, the market is consolidating, and this consolidation, as you guys can see, let me just like that's 4.24% already. That's already like triple my account. So over here we knew we were consolidating, and these consolidations is very good. And the only reason I would look for sales instead of buys is because we're coming from massive selling progression, right? So I filtered down to the 15 minute as well. And the moment I saw, yeah, this was one of my forecasts. That's why I say be proactive. I was anticipating the market to break above and then break back in, but nonetheless. So the moment I saw these vibes over here, right, and you can draw it with a box if you guys want to. Those vibes over here, right? I knew, okay, cool. Every time the market reaches, like the same thing I showed you guys on the DXY, right? Every time the market fails to break above, like over this zone over here, I knew that, boom, we are selling, right? So when I saw this type of candles, let me see, I can show you guys in a 5 minute. Yeah. When I saw this type of candles over here, like this was also, like if you guys want to draw a pattern, this was one of my patterns, right? Like after that, was over here, something like that. Yeah. And then I knew this area of like, look here, normally my eyes, right? Normally, like what I've learned is I would normally draw my trend, I mean my rail line over here. Because actually I'm focusing for the market to move to this level over here to move to the downside. And I never ever actually like looked at, wow, but here's in another area. If we break this area, then I will look at that area. But before I get there, this area is actually more recent. So I can't be looking at that first. I have to look at this areas first, and allow the market to show its hand.
Yes.
And then this is what I
Mm,
actually discovered. Then I'm like, okay, cool. This is my area of value, right? And when it made that second touch, I'm like, wow, this looks like a section. So like we have this impulse, right? followed by this massive correction, and this is the second touch. So I connected this two peaks, not this obviously, because that's my liquidity zone. That's the area where selling pressure was being placed, right? Sell orders, and then boom, I looked at, okay, cool. A first touch, I'm looking for the second touch, and I'm looking for the third touch. And the market is not perfect, guys. You guys, like, look where my stop loss was here above, right? So I was happy to take a 1% loss if it did come so. But I looked at this candles like in depth, guys. Like, I'm not gonna go on a 1 minute, but I looked at this type of candles. This is very low momentum candles, low momentum candles, And if the market like took me out, then it would take me out, and in my whole setup, my whole analysis would be bullish and it would be invalid. But I know for a fact, if the market comes to these areas and we're looking at structure and we're looking at this double top zone as well, as you guys can see, like I literally knew that this was a double top zone, guys. Like, the cool thing is that I knew what I was looking for. That's why I'm so freaking excited. So look at this double top zone, right? Followed by structure, all right? We anticipating that third touch, but I knew it's always possibilities versus probabilities, and there's a lot of wicks. Like, look at how much 5 minute candles is this. The moment I saw those wicks, bro, like the rejecting from us, like failing to break above, I took immediately a sell entry to move to the downside, right? And boom, just a few 5 minutes after that, the market started dropping and dropping and dropping, and he take profit easily, guys, easily. So this is all about reading price action, and not only about reading it, understanding it, because like, what's the point of reading something and you don't understand it? And like this, like I'm telling you guys, these pullbacks, you guys must understand this pullbacks, because that pullbacks is changing massive things in my life. I was looking at this vibes over here, but I first look at this, and don't force structure, don't force anything. And then the same thing on the USD JPY. I'm gonna show you guys another thing, right? Okay, cool. This is my old analysis, you know but I'll delete it. I think that's my last period. I'll show you guys. Yeah, I mean, buys for Euro USD as well, currently speaking. But let me just see something. I think I had this also. Is it there? It's not the long position, because I know that like forever. What's this? Okay, cool. But I think I sent it in the group with you guys as well. Okay, whatever. I did send it in
I
the
think
group.
so too. Was it the one you did 0.20?
I think so,
Then
yeah.
you're like, don't try this at home.
No. That's Euro USD. That's Euro USD
Oh,
price.
okay.
But nonetheless, I think I can just explain it to you guys over here. So over here, right? I'm still looking at sales over here to come here to the downside and move to the downside, etc. But on a 4 hour today, I caught something magnificent. Wait, where is it? I wanted to see something. Sorry, guys. I sent it in the group. Oh, what the fuck? Let me just see something. Yeah, here's it. 5 minute. Okay, cool. It's in the CS structure. 5 minute. Okay, cool. It's a five. Okay, cool. I'll try to see it. Can you guys still see my screen, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
I can still see
Yes,
your
yes.
screen, bro.
cool. Oh, here's it. So, what is this? I think it was this one over here, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see something. Yeah, it was this one. So, like, where was this? Okay, cool. I wanna take it from Friday's candle. From Friday's candle close. So, like, bear with me. I'm just gonna try to check. Just gonna try to highlight this whole thing. Let's see where Friday's candle was. Etc. It's gonna 5 minute and 15 minute quickly. Okay, cool. And I wanna see. Today is what? The 6. What is today? The 6, right?
7.
7. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I just want to go to today's date. Okay, cool. So this is today's date. Awesome. So today's date was like, yeah, this is like the beginning of the day, right? So nonetheless, right? That's where I was at. So the market approximately closed with this. This is how the market actually closed, right? And it opened with this gap, as you guys can see. This gap over here, right? And then I'm like, interesting price action. And then the market actually dropped like dropped and gave us a correction over there and then dropped massively, right? So there was two areas of value that I was looking at. The first area, like I told you guys, as pullbacks, right? Always show you guys as pullbacks, was this pullback over here, right? So like, and in my previous pullback was around about this level, you know. So I had something like this that I sent in the group. If you guys check in our normal in our Telegram Falcon group on Telegram, yeah, I had something like this, right? And I was anticipating the market to drop to the downside, right? And then I think I had something like this as well. And remember, the reason why I'm looking for sales is because I'm trading with the DXY, and the DXY is bearish as if you even look from the monthly, you know. So I wasn't even looking at anything else but that, you know. So I was looking at this zone type of zone over here, right? But like I told you guys, the patterns does not matter. It's all how you actually see structure and how you see price, you know. So the patterns, like for me, this came afterwards, you know, after I knew what I was looking for, that came afterwards. But I don't even need to care about this. I'll show you guys two ways to enter this. If you was super advanced, right? Just forget about the zone. If you was super advanced, right? You would have looked at where the market actually started dropping, you know. So the market started dropping at this area, and the market corrected over here, took some buy orders, and then dropped. Right? Some people will call it support, turning into resistance, etc. But I don't call it like it. I call it area of significance, right? Liquidity points basically. And in your pullbacks, you could have had this over here or this, but why don't I choose this pullback? Why did I choose this pullback instead? Because the market actually was more progressive on this pullback with sells than on this pullback. If the market over here, if this pullback is too corrective, I wouldn't look at it, you know, because like we're not looking for corrective pullbacks. We're looking for where the market turned, like made the pullback, right? Let's just say, quick example. Let me show you guys. Quick example. So if the market is coming from a selling like trend, right? Boom, 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 selling, right? And then the market actually pulled back, right? We're not looking for more correction because that can just turn into a bigger flag, etc., to move to the downside, right? But if the market came from a massive sell, right, and it pulls back, right, and it sells like with heavy momentum from that zone, that's my level, you know, and it moves correctively to this level. That is the level I'm looking for because that is where most active sell orders was stacked, you know. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for any corrective nature over here because that will just turn into some other structure, you know, that will later on develop. But as you can see, a live example that actually happened. So instead of looking at this corrective structure over here, we're looking at where the market actually sold off because remember who is actually moving the market? It's human beings. It's people, banks, institution, big hedge fund traders, investors, and so forth. They're the ones moving price at this moment, you know. So at that current state, as you can read on price action, they started selling heavy on that momentum, right? So advanced trader would have seen this, something I did catch, you know. But let's not talk about that. Let's stay on the topic of what you can actually catch. So we talking about the pullback vibes. So we saw this over here. And the moment when price, we knew that there was a gap, and we knew we were looking for sales, right? The moment and price started moving correctively to the zone, right? You didn't need to sell. You waiting for the market to show its hand, right? And there's a 15-minute. Look at that freaking candle. When the market showed that candle, that is a signal from the market that you may sell and you may sell aggressively. Like I wouldn't suggest everyone to sell aggressively. Nice 25 pip stop loss just above that pip, targeting the lows, you know, 4 point something percent. And that's how I caught this trade today as well. So you could have targeted, like I didn't want to target the week. I wanted to target that over there. But yeah, I think we only have 10 minutes over here. But I hope you guys understand that there's beautiful trades that I caught. And it's not about the patterns. It's not about all of this nonsense. About structure and how you read them. Not only how you read them, how you understand them, you know. And this is something I've been working on. That's been quiet. I've been trading, guys, honestly speaking, you know. So yeah, hope this helps for you. If you guys have any questions, I think we have about like 10 minutes remaining for questions. And yeah, guys, that's basically it.
No, this is proper. Thank you so much, man. I think what you've just said in terms of how, price moves down when it's in a downtrend, if it's impulsively or correctively.
Yeah.
And then just saying that the point that it moved from, I've never thought about it as, being a very important point. So I think going forward, I'm also going to look out for that because, yeah, it's very handy. I'm actually seeing what you mean from that. It looks like it's your what can I say, your advantage in the market.
Yeah,
Because I
and
mean, the way that you've shown us over the months, literally just moves the way that you're saying it. So thanks for that. I'm gonna look out for that as well when I'm,
100%, man.
when I'm
But like,
analyzing the markets.
yeah, 100%. It's all to do with like you must
Can I also
understand.
ask you the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
mhm.
You can ask.
Yeah, no, with the so with your account when you grow it, do you only focus on currency, so you won't really look at indices if you're doing
I
a small
focus. I,
account?
I focus on everything, bro. But you must also understand. So like I have something like this, right? So this is my main focus. This is my the market, like all of the pairs I look at. So there's all the pairs, Tesla, etc., stocks, etc., right? Like all of the pairs. Basically, I've made
Mm,
pound. I've categorized everything: USD base, pound base, Aussie base, Euro base.
mm,
That's how and then I filter out what is the most high probable between all of these pairs. And I made myself another list, and then this is my main focus. So the DXY you will always see it on top. I'll look at this. Sometimes I take gold and silver out, but it's only for those 2 weeks that I have for gold and silver. Like I literally added them today. But US30 and Nasdaq always together over here. I don't trade them together. I trade whichever is clearer between US30 and Nasdaq. I
either
trade that.
or.
So I never trade them together. If US30 shows me a clear structure, and it's way better than Nasdaq, then so be it, etc. Vice versa. Then my top pairs is over here, as you can see. I filter them out, and then supplementary is like my wild cards and stuff like that. I call it supplementary because it's like supplementary is like that's
Okay.
my own vibe. And then my top pairs over here, and then just because I have such a huge variety of watch lists, I only choose one pair. So I filter all of this out and only choose 1 to 2 pairs
Mm,
for small accounts, and I only trade that 2 pairs. So like that's basically all that I look upon. And
okay.
yeah, that's basically all that I can say at this current state. This is a trade that I also
No,
took
that makes sense.
because the dollar is dropping as well. This is a trade I also took on Euro USD, and it's looking scrumptious, guys, looking beautiful. So like now I have like a one, like what was
This
it,
is the
two,
one you posted today, right?
yeah, just a few minutes ago, because I saw this impulse correction,
Okay.
another impulse, another correction, possibility to move to the upside as the DXY is dropping. So like
Oh,
I
okay, I
even
see.
written in my
So
journal
you entered at the
over here.
you entered at 0.99 around that area. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
0.99977. So that's where I entered actually. So like even like I even written in my journal like literally a few minutes ago before I actually mentioned the Zoom question right now. I placed in my journal to the point I told myself like, look here, if you want to trade small accounts, right? Because I know everyone wants to like figure out the ways to trade small accounts, and how you like for me, you guys know me. I'm like I like master small accounts. I can flip freaking small
Mm,
accounts,
mm,
but like in order to
mm,
grow a small account, you only have to focus on 1 to 2 pairs. You can't focus on, but you also understand what category that pairs has to be. You can't focus on indices and currencies at the same time. It's either you focus on two indices or two, like, okay, cool. I wouldn't say two indices. It's either you focus on one indice, filter everything out, one indice, and or
mm.
you leave the indices, or you focus on 1 to 2 currency pairs. Like that's it. And also it depends on what the account you have. So with me, I use on Tradeful's standard micro, which is like all the currency pairs will be micro as well. But the professional ZAR account would be the currencies would be no normal currencies, lot sizes and stuff like that. There won't be any micro upon it. So that's what I told you guys
Mm,
about understanding the broker as well. So I use the broker to my advantage. If I have 500 rand and more, I trade my normal professional ZAR account on micros, etc. But if I have less than
mm,
500 rand, like 100 rand, 400 rand, 450 there around, then I would open, then I trade obviously on my standard micro account on Tradefulls. And that's how I grow and grow. And
mm,
also on Tradefulls, there's 4 wallets. If you open your account, there's 4 wallets that give you automatically. It's not trading accounts, it's called wallets, like a normal wallet. And then you have to open your live account.
mm,
So this is what I do. So I deposit 500 rand, right? Like 500 rand, right? And then I take a 400 rand and put it in one of my wallets. I keep it there, and then I just take 100 rand and I only trade it within my normal professional ZAR account. I leave that 100 rand in. And then if I make 50 rand profits, 100 rand profits, I just transfer you. You're able to transfer on profits as well. And then when I'm done with the day, when I'm done with the page, when I'm made profits, then I transfer everything instead of throwing it into my bank account. I transfer that 500 rand and 400 rand into another wallet, and I just compound that wallet. And I only traded 100 rand account. So everything that I make above 100 rand, I put it in my small account, I mean, my small wallet as it grows,
nice.
And then when that wallet is like, let's say 4
Mm,
5k, 4 5k, and then I withdraw from that wallet because all of this small profits is making me money. So I can over leverage that whole
Dude,
100 rand, bro, you know. So yeah, that's why.
literally. That's so hectic. That's so I actually opened an account with Tradeflow, so I haven't put money in yet, but I used your link,
Link
so I think I will do that soon.
100%.
And yeah, I'll just open up. You say just remind me, it's the standard micro and then the micro professional.
No, it's the standard micro. That's a normal for micro accounts. Only anything less than 500 rand.
Okay.
And in the professional ZAR account, that's basically it. Leverage is always 1 to
Okay.
1,000. 1 to 1,000. You
Okay.
know.
All right. Okay.
Yeah,
No,
100%.
perfect.
So yeah, man, that's basically what I've been working on. Like I've been going into depth, guys, like literally like how I can be better at the market, how I can actually help people, or how I can help
Mm,
myself to like how do I make 5,000 rand with 100 rand?
sure.
Instead of thinking of how I can make 1 billion rand or 1 million rand with 1,000 rand, I
Exactly.
rather think like how I can make 5k with smaller money, and it's not that difficult. It's like also when people talk about the compounding effect, I think I have a way different approach to compound my like effect, obviously, So like that's the whole the whole explanation
That's
about
amazing, man. Actually, I like your approach to the market and everything, and I
yeah,
think
man.
I would also, I definitely want to learn more from it. So thank you so
Yeah.
much for this, man.
And like this
I
helps
appreciate
you
the
like
time you've taken.
pretty all good, bro. And this actually helps you from never ever blowing your account. Like you will not never blow your account, but if you blow your account, you like blew 100 rand, and you made like how much 500 rand or
Yeah.
or 1,000 rand already.
And that's
So
something you can spend
yeah,
like a drink or two, man. It's nothing. It's like,
e-
it's whatever.
exactly, man. So like even like look at this, it also even protects your psychology. So when you take like 100 rand account and you actually trade in it, you don't care about the 100 rand whether you lose this trade or win this trade. It's literally secure in your
Yeah.
psychology. So like you wouldn't even care. Like for me, I was literally I think I made like 600 rand, 500 rand in a club, bro. I was drunk as if, and I was like, shit, bro. Okay, yeah, bro. I think a buy on sell on US 30, and I was like, I'm drunk as ever. I think it's on my TikTok video, on my TikTok account. And I was like, okay, cool. 500 rand, 600 rand banked. I'm putting it in my wallet. And then now when I looked at my wallet, it was like 5k already, 6k. Because I've been doing this for a whole week. Everything that I make above 100 rand. And
Sure.
100 rand, you can make 500 rand, 600 rand, even 1,000 rand, bro. If you know what you're doing, And then you just transfer that 900 rand, you put it in your wallet, you trade it 100 rand again. If you lose the 100 rand, you can use
And
another
then it
100 rand.
grows.
But even if you lose below that 100 rand, you can go to your 900 rand, take 100 rand out. Now you have 800 rand, which is still good. Boom, then you trade again with that
Mm,
100 rand, and you just build, you just build, you just build. And that's basically what I do. But you only take high profitable setups. And if you understand how to do that with your broker and understand all of this that I just explained to you with structure and the approach of the market,
mm.
there's no there's,
Yes.
there's no time for failure. There's no time for being broke even, bro. You definitely on the right road.
Exactly.
So yeah, man, we have less than
No,
one
this is
minute.
amazing, man.
Appreciate you all.
This is amazing. Thank you so much, man.
I'll definitely try
Yeah,
to have more
King.
Zoom call
And
sessions.
I like the session today.
100%,
Thank you,
but
thank you.
100%. But I'm gonna love and leave you guys. Just wanted to show that to you guys. But yeah, guys, stay blessed, stay safe, and keep me posted with your journey, guys. Keep me posted, and let's just be great. Let's just let's
No,
just let's just get
definitely.
it. 100%.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay, man. You
King.
guys have a good night.
Same to you
Sharp.
guys.
Cheers, guys.
Stay blessed, stay blessed.
Cheers.